Good afternoon. This is Grandma Freeman, and I'm going to start talking to you about step 2 of making a garment, and that would be pinning the pattern onto your fabric. And as you can see, I need a lot of fabric for this. I'm making a nightgown, and this fabric is similar to silk. I'm sure it's not really silk, but it has a kind of a silkish texture to it, and it's very sheer. That's doubled right there. So I'm actually cutting two of this is the front of a nightgown, and I have it. Just a minute, I'll show it to you in case you didn't see step 1 of making a garment. Okay, this is the gown. That's B. And this is so easy, it's simplicity. Okay, and the number, if you're interested, is 9325, and this is size A, and it's extra small, small, medium, large, and extra large. So I'm making the extra large. I did my measurements, and I think it would be it would fit better around the bust and hips. Although there's so much fabric here, it's going to be gathered at the top. As you can see, if you look at the pattern, it's gathered, so it's meant to be very loose. And the yoke, I've already cut out. I had to have 4 pieces for the yoke. It's the interfacing and the front and back with the interfacing. So this one I just need 2, and well, actually it's 1. It's the front, and it's, as you can see, it's on the fold right there. And that's how it shows right here. I don't know. Anyway, it says center fold. So that is what I do. I put it on the fold. And then I had to have all of this fabric. This is, I believe, 45 wide. And you can see I'm going to have it right here. See, it's so close to the edge. But it does fit on that. And I knew it would. But I'm calling this step 2, but there is a hidden step that I had to go through with this fabric. And also, I press my pattern so it's as flat as it can be, but I had to put it on the silk setting on my iron because I pressed it because there were creases that I had to make sure that they weren't folded so that it would lay as flat as possible. I know it doesn't look like I pressed it, but since, it's paper, very thin paper, so I didn't want it to scorch it or make it a hole in it, or what happens is it kind of just crinkles up and then it shrinks it, so it wouldn't be right. So I have to be very careful when I press my patterns not to burn it or cause it to scorch and shrivel up. And also this fabric, you can see right here, it was on that first fold, so it wasn't even on the ends. So I had to take it and bring those edges together here, so they're together. And otherwise it would have been off here at the edge. It would have been off, and then I would not, you can see I would not have, one side of it would have been, I wouldn't have had enough of the fabric if I had left it on that fold. And I think that happened on the bolt. So it probably, when they manufactured it, got out of alignment, and then it caused the fold was off. And see, it's quite a bit. That's like about close to an inch, if not an inch. So it would have been off, and I wouldn't have had, this would have been off also. So that took quite a while, because that's a long, that's 5 3/4 yard right there. Yards, I should say. 5 3/4 yards, almost 6 yards of fabric. And I think I'm just barely going to have enough. And as I said before, I did go ahead and cut 4 of the yoke. The yoke is 1 pattern, and I had the fabric doubled, so I had to cut it out twice. and I have it over here. And I also cut, let me see if they have it over here. Let me see if there's anything like it. There's a little, here it is. These little darts, I cut those out. They're like little darts. And I cut those. They're in the seam allowance anyway. And let me see, here's another one I have to cut out. Plus some more. On this, I don't cut them all out. I would do the, oops, I'm sorry, that's, okay, the extra large. I would cut the extra large because I have to, that's what I'm working with, is the extra large size. So this is the front. You can see here, it says cut one on the fold. So that's one continuous piece. And I'm working with the extra large. And so if I had to, if I was real short or real tall, I could, oh, wait a minute. This pattern piece is for A and B, for both A and B, for the top for the pajamas and also for the gown. And then up here is where it's going to be sewn or gathered onto the yoke. Okay, so I didn't have to do any adjustments. I'm sure it'll fit me. And then down here is where I'm going to sew the ruffle on. And I'm going to skip past the lace because I don't need to go through all that. And that's an extra expense for me. So I did not have enough fabric for the pajamas. For, the bottoms take quite a bit of material as well as the top is shorter. But I did not. It took about over 6 yards. And I had less than 6 yards of fabric here. So, and I do have some extras in case I need it for the ruffle. But I think I will go ahead and put the ruffle on. I think that makes it extra cute. And I do like that gown. And it's for the warm weather. Maybe, as the weather starts to warm up before it gets real hot. And then I'll wear sleeveless gowns and shorter, and maybe during the real hot season, summer. Okay, so I did have to spend about an hour and a half pressing my patterns, and I have more to go. I'm going to cut this out before I pull the material back over and put on the back. And it also is one continuous piece. It's right here. And then I have the sleeves after that, and then I have the ruffle. There's 2 pieces to the ruffle, and I'm going to do that. So that in this case, because I had to adjust my fabric and get a new fold, I did iron it, and I had it on the silk setting on my iron, not to burn this fabric either, because this is very delicate and very, I don't know, I can separate it here so you can see. Excuse me. It's kind of, well, that's two pieces together there, but it's kind of not going to cooperate with me doing it with one hand, opening it up. But anyhow, it's very sheer and delicate. It's like a silk, but it is not. And I can't remember when I bought this fabric and where, but I think since it's exactly what I need to make the gown, I have a feeling that I bought the pattern and this fabric at the same time, probably at Joann's a while back when I was working, and I never got around to making the gown because I was so busy all the time. I barely could sew then. And anyway, so then so I'm actually on my 3rd step, and that is pinning and cutting the garment. And then after that, and I often call it the 4th step or the 3rd step, whatever I have to do, is cutting out those darts and making, let's see, I don't see any, I'm looking right now, I don't see any dots where I make tailor tacks to mark my dots. And I'll show you what that looks like, because I had to do it on the yokes. pieces. Okay, see that right there? That marks a dot, and that's where I'm going to sew. See, you can see it already. I'm going to sew that together so that, and the dot marks, so that I can make sure they're right on the right place, and also the dart. And the dot also has to do with putting the arms in on this one. And the darts also I have to match up with the skirt part of the garment. And I'm going to be doing a lot of gathering on the skirts, on the rest of the body of the nightgown. But anyhow, you'll see that when I get to that point. So thanks for watching. I'm going to get on with cutting this out, and then I'm going to try to pin and cut out the next piece. I'm giving myself about an hour to sew. Please like and subscribe. Have a wonderful day. Bye now.